So this month we're going to sew the 1-inch strip into the diagonal cut that you made in your squares last month. And the challenge with that is that once you cut your fabric diagonally, you're working on a true bias, which has tons and tons of stretch in it. So I thought I'd do a little video to show you some ways to reduce the amount of stretch or reduce any stretching that you get when you're sewing along. If you have a sewing machine that has dual feed, now would be the time to engage it. I have dual feed on this machine, but I discovered this easy way to take the bias stretch out of my sewing, so I've just decided to not engage my dual feed for the purposes of this video. So what I do is my 1-inch strips have been cut either width of fabric, or in this case they've been cut length of fabric, so there's no stretch in them, and you can see that the grain is pretty straight. So I always put the fabric that has the least amount of stretch closest to the feed dogs, because it's the feed dogs pulling the fabric through that helps to create the stretch. The next thing I do is make sure that my fabric's right side up with these solids. It's not all that easy. And then I put my solid fabric on the top. So that's the fabric with all the stretch. And now I'm just about ready to go. And once I do engage everything and I'm ready to sew, then I hold the top fabric in my left hand and gently lay it along the side of the bottom fabric so that there's no stretch at all. And you can see as it's feeding through the machine, there's really no stretch happening at all. And when I need to go to the next section, I just hold it down, make sure that it's lined up nicely, sew along, and continue on until I get to the end. And once I get to the end, I'll show you how that works, that I have no stretch at all in the fabric. The feed dogs are not touching the fabric, so there's nothing to pull the bottom and top layers in at a separate rate, which is what the stretching is caused by the stretching. So we'll just finish this little bit up. Nothing too magic about the whole thing. And when I'm all done and you pull it back, you can see that there's been no stretching of that bias edge at all. So when I go to join the other piece on to the other side, I would press now. And when I go to join the other piece on, again, I put the fabric with the least amount of stretch on the bottom and put the stretchy fabric on the top and gently lay it on the top of the least stretchy fabric as I go along. And that way you're not going to have any problem at all with stretching as you go. So I hope this helps and gives you a few ideas. Thanks for watching.